Hey everybody, this is in the news update. It's Michael DeSilva, is yours truly, for May the 8th, 2018 for YouTube side. Beautiful out here. The place is a nice place. I told you Harbor Square is great. The trees, these are male pear trees that are overhead. They bloom white flowers. That's how you know they're male pear trees. They don't produce any fruit because males don't produce fruit. Just like in the tree world, we don't produce fruit and neither do male trees. Only the females produce the fruit. It's a lovely fruit you can eat. Let's get into the news. South Airlines had a second accident. They had to divert a plane or a flight from one place to another due to a window cracking in the driver's side pit. And another thing in the news, talking about also that today is also Teacher Appreciation Day as well as Nurse Appreciation Day. So if you know any nurses that are working in the hospital where you go, you say hi to them. Say, hey, how you doing? We appreciate what you're doing. And also talk to the teachers and find out and wish them happy Teacher Appreciation Day today too as well. Also think about, just to give you some rumor central. No, it don't have nothing to do with Harbor Square today. But Elena Trump, you know, the wife of Mr. President Trump, yours truly. There are lots of rumors going around about concerning their marriage and concerning about other things. But one rumor says that Elena Trump does no longer live in the White House. This is a rumor, allegedly, the rumor. And they say that she lives in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. You know, she's staying out in the suburbs with some family, you know, in D.C., not living in the White House outside the suburbs of D.C. That's crazy. No, she's in the White House, but there's just some of these libertard news organizations want to try to come up with an angle to try to attack her viciously any way they can, or Mr. President, or Trump, Trump. They want to, attack him too and make up all these stories. But who's to say? Who knows, right? But it's gorgeous today. It really is a really gorgeous Tuesday. Fine looking Tuesday. I hope you all had a great night. I hope you slept good. I hope everybody had a good breakfast this morning. It's up and early, top of the morning to you. I hope that your day will be grand, whatever you do. But anyway, over 24 of homes on the Big Island in Hawaii have been destroyed by lava. Lava has actually destroyed over 24 homes. No casualties or fatalities that we know of at this hour have been reported. But yet, the eruption of the volcano happened over the weekend. And it's still erupting lava, and scientists don't see that thing ending anytime soon. They say more homes may be victim or casualties of this lava war going on in Hawaii on the Big Island, as they say. So I told y'all to stop jumping up and down on the beds when he went there, because after he came home, all this stuff happened. I told him and Christy to behave himself when they went down there 3 weeks ago. And after they came home, after they'd been there, it all started up. See, that's what happens when you jump up in the bed too hard. You get it all going. Yeah. No, just kidding. But really, the islands really up there are really built on a chain of volcanoes, and they've always been a volatile region. All the 5 of them. The islands have totally been volcanoes, or there's volcanoes in the water underneath the ocean that are around and inundated in those islands there, and that chain. So, it's expected to happen one way or another. And it's just like California. Now, California, up till around the end of April, has been had more earthquakes, but now Hawaii has got California beat hands down. They've had a lot more earthquakes in the last couple of weeks than California has had. Like I said, the Philippines yesterday had a 6.0 earthquake. They say there's fatalities and even injuries and lots of building damage in the Philippines. So please pray for the people out there. Our hearts go out to the people in the Philippines. The earthquake happened, 6.0 earthquake happened last night in the Philippines. Also, really think about that. We talked about, there's three faces of people in the world. Now, generally, there's a lot of people who you like. And generally, there's a lot of people who you really enjoy and who you love to be around and talk to. But there's some kinds of people that like to cause problems and gossip. And there's three different flares of people. One, there's people that act like they want to hear all the conversation and get all the information. And then when you're not around, they're like, oh, I didn't really want to hear all that stuff. Or I don't want to have nothing to do with this. I don't even know why they told me all that. But yet they'll act like they're all engrossed and interested in it when they're talking to you. But yet they weren't really interested in it at all. The second group of people are this people. They're caring and understanding and really want to hear what you say. And then what they do is undermine it by spreading it all around the neighborhood or spreading it all around the communities outside the neighborhood. So that's the second type of people. I mean, both of these types of people are two-faced people. And the third type of people that you want to avoid that are like this are the ones that use you for a while or use you for whatever they want. And when they get tired of you, they dump you and go to someone else, and they become their next target or victim. And they just abandon you altogether because they're just tired of the relationship. A lot of people, like we talked about in the other videos, these people are codependent people. That's why they do these types of relationships. This type, because it's all classified under codependency. And people will tend to act like they're God and all that, and act like they want to control everything and has their say about everything, their real opinion. They want to feel like they want to run a place or run a community or try to think they're running everything in a certain place or a certain organization or entity, but really can't really run it. They can't control whether they take a dump or go to the bathroom. They can't even control that, much less control anybody else. But even though they think they can, they're just really deluding themselves, really. But these codependent people, cats will do that. But all these people are two-faced because they're insecure. I think it's a fundamental thing of mental illness, some of it. And a lot of it, why they act this way and do bad things, is all because of codependency, because they're insecure within themselves. They always have a pain of view of a bad experience or about their experiences or their appearance. And they're always so hard on everyone else. They don't have the ability to forgive. And they definitely don't like conflict. They like to cause a lot of conflict, though, because they major chiefly in friendships. These are the kinds of people, types you want to avoid at all costs, if you can, possible. If you know people that are like this, you don't want them in your life because they cause a lot of hurt and destruction. And these kinds of people always have a path of destruction everywhere they leave in their wake. So, if you know people that are like this, you might want to just stay away from them. Wherever you live, in a community, an apartment complex, or in general, even at church. Because you're always going to have the kind of people that like to complain. And by golly, there are lots of complainers. And those are usually the codependent people. Because they always like to complain. And they never make mistakes, and they always blame everybody else for everything they do wrong. So, to make it short, to sum it up, go with people that are like-minded like you. And don't go with people that want to, or hang around with people that want to put you in some kind of category or label you as something. You don't need that kind of stuff in your life anyway. Just be the person who you are to be, that God has made you out to be. And hang with people that appreciate you and or accept you for the way that you are. And not somebody who wants to try to fix you or try to rescue you. It's really, nobody can rescue anyone but yourself. Nobody can fix anyone but yourself. Nobody can go around fixing other people's situations or trying to rescue things, because a lot of times they don't know all the information. And that's what makes things a lot worse when they do so, because they don't know all the facts. And therefore they overreact, and then they end up getting in a lot of trouble a lot of times and causing a lot of trouble. So if you know people like that, stay away from them. They're dangerous, they're toxic, and they're always causing problems. And this is the people that cause trouble a lot. They're like that. So the best bet is just to stay to yourself and only talk to people when they talk to you. And if they really are genuine, they won't go and do two-faced things like these other three people we discussed. These three other types of people. They won't do that because they won't have to be phony. They'll be real. And they'll be a real person. And they won't lie about you behind your back, or lie to the landlord, or lie to other people in the neighborhood. And then, and you don't have to have a clique either. Just be yourself. You don't have to have approval from other people where you live just to do something or to feel like you have to fit in. Just be who God made you out to be, and love and be accepting to people who are different, and be open to different people like God intended. God wants all of us to get along, and all of us to abide and to love each other in spite of our differences of what we believe and think and how we act or how we are, because we're all different, and that's why we all are made different, and we all do different things because we're not all the same. And those people that think they want to control or be able to do that are only just kidding themselves, because they can't control anything, not even control what comes out the rear end, much less try to control anyone else. So anyway, it's just something to think about. And other stories, though, we talked about this before. We talked about different forms of energy. Now, hydrogen is one form of energy. The military calls it brown gas, but it's called hydrogen. Okay? Another form of energy would be thermal steam that would be generated within inside the earth. See, there's a layer of liquid or steam, of hot thermal steam under a lot of pressure, and it's down several thousand feet underneath the earth, and it goes all the way around the earth, the entire globe, and it's in the ground, it's under the ocean, in the soil, it's even under the soil on land. And if we could just put some turbines down there with motors attached to it, that's how we could create electricity without it costing much to make. But the thing is, it's hard to get big turbines down thousands of feet within the Earth's mantle and have them accelerated or have them situated so that they would work to turn these big steam compounds that would produce tons of electricity. And it would be worldwide, and it would be non-stop. Another idea would be to put turbines where the currents in underground rivers are found in the oceans, that the suction is so strong there and vast that it would create worldwide energy and produce lots of electricity for most of the world just on those currents alone. And it would create massive amounts of electricity that would always be constantly always working and always on. It'd be a lot better than nuclear energy or coal energy, and it'd be clean. It'd be far better than wind energy or solar even. Hydrogen is probably what the Aztecs used, or what something they did with the pyramids that may have been a power source. We don't know, but there's energy readings that are higher there where the pyramids are all over the world, and they're strategically there. And I don't think that's just for spiritual emphasis. I think it's also for the way they made energy. They believe the pyramids also were a source for their people, and they believe that electricity could have been made somehow by that harnessing of electricity. And maybe that's why the energy there is stronger, not just spiritually, but electrically. And there may be some truth to that, because there's something in the ground or something there, more so than just the people that died that are buried there, but something that's there, the way they made it, to harness that energy so they could produce a power source. Possibly. That's what some people do think. So anyway, this is just some of the in the news updates for today. We'll keep you up to date on a lot of different things. HUD is also another news story, is being investigated in Richmond, Virginia in the Northeast due to lots of regulations. They avoided a policy on the Fairness Act on residents and tenants, where they postponed that, and also a lot of the apartments have been cited for dilapidated or repaired conditions in much facilities of HUD. And there's an investigation probe going on right now due to the secretary of HUD and also a lot of the properties of HUD regarding these situations that we talked about. Just to give you a little sum up of the news of what's going on. And of course, it'd be kind of interesting to know, even though Mulder is being under fire by President Trump due to lies that he told, and of course, he's been fired. And of course, there has been one of the justice people up in New York was also fired due to having sexual or harassing or sexual relationships with people that he worked with, where he harassed them and have left bruises or hit them. And of course, now he's under scrutiny, where he had to resign. A New York police officer that was high up had to resign from his job. He will be resigning at the end of today, meaning on Tuesday, if this goes out tomorrow, by any chance. But just something to think about. So we don't know what's going on, but lots of power issues with the HUD. Going back to that story, has been cited in a lot of these apartments in the Richmond area. I don't know if Henrico or Hanover or Mechanicsville are in this investigation. I have no idea. But also lots of furnace issues were reported, where lots of people didn't have heat or didn't have hot water. That went on for months. And lots of people are having issues with lighting, and some people are having issues with overcrowding. So that's always been sort of a problem for a lot of people in HUD apartments, because a lot of apartments have been built in the 40s and 50s and even early 60s, and a lot of codes have changed since then, and a lot of these complexes are not up to code, and that's a big problem. Another thing about, more on that HUD story, is that it's a lot cheaper, they say, is to tear down an apartment complex and rebuild it than it is to refurnish or retrofit the inside. It's more expensive to do it that way than it is to, over the long haul, than it is to just tear down the complex in some cases. So that's just some of the news today right here. We'll have more updates. Stay tuned. This is Michael DeSilva's reporting for Love FM and YouTube. Take care. Have a good day, everyone.